Recently, tree farmer Patrice O'Brien of Jackson was honored by the Forest Landowners Association with its National Forest Landowner of the Year award. That's not surprising if you've been to her family's Twin Oaks tree farm. In 2013, she was the first woman to be named Outstanding Tree Farmer of the Year by the Mississippi Forestry Association. There's a long family history at Twin Oaks, but tradition doesn't mean living in the past. O'Brien and her family make sure Twin Oaks pulls its own weight by developing multiple income streams on the property.
One day I was riding my four-wheeler down through here, and as I got down to this end, a mother turkey flew up into the tree, and there were all kinds of little baby turkeys just right there around me. It was so exciting, so thrilling to watch them as they took to cover, and I was just right there amongst them.
Wildlife management for hunting and enjoyment is one of the many goals being accomplished at Twin Oaks Farm. The 1,200-acre tree farm is located in Yalobusha County. It's owned by O'Brien and her sister, Joy Swearingen. O'Brien is the managing partner. She's definitely not an absentee landlord.
What got my attention was her enthusiasm in managing just not necessarily the forest, but the entire property, and being a good steward of the entire property, all aspects of a property. She's real involved.
Twin Oaks has been a certified tree farm since 1959. The farm has been under a written management plan since O'Brien's father passed away in 1982.
It's been a real pleasure working with them. They've got just a variety of stands, and I was able to update their tree farm plan 2 years ago. With 1,200 acres, they've got, I think I calculated there were about 20 different stands on the property in a variety of age class distributions, so we got a lot to work with.
As far as wildlife, we have the hunt club revenues, and then we have the fish club revenues. And my husband is exploring and getting into beekeeping, and I do some production gardening.
Multiple income streams are a priority at Twin Oaks. The goal is to use the land's resources in a sustainable, professionally managed manner.
When we first came up here and talked to Patrice and them, one of the first things she said was she wants something growing on every inch of her farm. And she didn't care if that was grass, trees, or whatever. If she couldn't grow trees there, she was going to grow something else there.
One of those income streams is hunting leases. Gary Crafton leads the Tillatoba Hunting Club on the Twin Oaks property. O'Brien wanted a long-term lease with a small club. This fit Crafton and his brother Glenn's expectations. This allows them to make facility investments they would not otherwise make if the lease was year to year. They also practice quality deer management. This is the largest buck harvested so far, but all bucks have increased in size.
Deer of this size were the high-end bucks that we were seeing on this place when we first began hunting on this lease. And through proper nutrition and age, we're now seeing more and more bucks like this, letting the young bucks live, harvesting numbers of does.
With 48 acres of water and 2 lakes, fishing has always been an interest at Twin Oaks, especially for Lamar O'Brien, Patrice's husband. Professionally managed with the help of consultant Larry Clay, the lakes are now part of a fishing club where the members pay an annual fee. Largemouth bass, crappie, and brim can be found. At this point, catching a string of 2 to 2.5 pound bass is common, with some 10-pounders reported.
We've had this going on for about 5 years now, and we've had consistent members every year. Matter of fact, this last year, all of our members re-upped.
I've been encouraged by it. This one in particular with the shad take, like I said, we put them in about 3 years ago. Everywhere we looked today, we saw shad. So a bass or a crappie that's hungry, all they've got to do is open their mouth pretty much and get a meal.
They're looking, like Larry said, for a quality fishing experience, where on a private lake, they don't have a lot of the conflict with other folks in public lakes. They enjoy coming out here fishing. If they catch 10 or 15 fish, it's been a good day.
Twin Oaks has been in Patrice O'Brien's family since the early 1840s. The oldest part of the farmhouse dates back to 1917, the barn to the 1940s. Trees blown down by storms are sawn into boards and used for repairs to the house and barn, such as this hallway flooring and kitchen cabinets. While Twin Oaks is a working farm, there are places known as special sites. This cypress lowland O'Brien and her daughter Kelly are walking through has been set aside for generations.
This area has been set aside. My grandfather found it to be a special place and passed it down to his children, and my mom will pass it down to me. It really is just a special place.
This is a scion, Bill.
This is the site of one of the darkest days at Twin Oaks Farm. It occurred in early spring 2007. A woods arsonist set fire to a 9-year-old 65-acre stand of Conservation Reserve Program hardwood trees.
I could not believe that somebody would dislike us so much or have such an evil desire in their heart to burn these beautiful trees. I just could not believe it.
While the whole stand did not burn, there was extensive damage. Fortunately, the fire occurred when the trees were dormant. In the spring, many of the trees grew sprouts from the roots called scions. That was a blessing, but for 3 winters, the O'Briens sawed out the dead trunks and thinned the scions, all the while fighting briars and brush.
If we hadn't done it, you would have had virtually non-merchantable trees here, or you would have had some, because each one of these scions takes energy from the roots there. So they're competing with each other. Really what you want is to be able to eliminate down to the main scion, so all the energy from the roots go into this main scion.
The CRP hardwood trees had been planted originally in an effort to halt the growing erosion along Tillatoba Creek and its tributary on Twin Oaks Farm. The problem started in the 1960s after the construction of Interstate 55 west of the farm. Inadequate culverts prompted flooding along the creek. Dredging efforts downstream of Twin Oaks eventually caused massive amounts of erosion on Twin Oaks itself. O'Brien remembers when the tributary creek was a ditch you could step over.
We've estimated that we've lost probably somewhere between 4.5 and 8 acres of land. Valuable, cultivatable, fertile cropland to this creek erosion.
O'Brien and her sister, with support from Yalobusha County, worked with Mississippi's U.S. Senators Thad Cochran and Trent Lott. Money was finally allocated in the 2002 Farm Bill to install berms, drainage pipes, and riprap.
We'd already spent over $10,000 in pipes and culverts and ditch work to hold what we thought we could hold, but it kept washing out. Even the county roads up here, they've spent probably close to $1 million on bridges.
While Patrice O'Brien is a hands-on tree farm owner, she's also very active on behalf of forestry in Mississippi and the United States. She's hosted forestry field days at Twin Oaks. O'Brien has served in several positions with the Mississippi Forestry Association, including the Board of Directors. Nationally, she's been a member of the Forest Landowners Association, serving as a regional vice president and board member, even traveling to Washington to lobby on behalf of forestry.
She's also been the president of the Rankin County Forestry Association, and she was the secretary-treasurer for many, many years. A lot of things get done when Patrice O'Brien's involved.
Eventually, the care of Twin Oaks Farm will fall to the 5th generation, O'Brien's children, Kelly and Brad. Twin Oaks appears to be in good hands.
But there's something about having a place to call home and having a piece of property that's your own, not just a house, but land to tend and a garden to grow and fresh tomatoes on the table. And it's hard to imagine life without Twin Oaks, finding your peaceful spot.
And you can watch this story again on Patrice on our Farmweek website, Facebook page, or YouTube. The website address is farmweek.msucares.com. You can try out our Facebook page. Give us a like if you would, please. And Facebook fans see our stories first on Friday. And Leighton, once again, she did win the Forest Landowner of the Year award. I mean, that's a national award from a national organization, and we congratulate her on that.